From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping, to the Great Wall of China, and back to the streets of San Antonio, Texas. Yeehaw! Where the UFC is coming.
All right. Why not? It's one of those shows.
I like it. I feel
We
like we're
are live. Let me do that again. I'll get the
No,
yeehaw.
keep
we in
going. We
Texas?
are live, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this for the Texas show?
All right, we're live. This is the show we talk about what you think about, but afraid to voice. No matter what you may think, we talk about it all: sex, drugs, rock and roll, UFC, film, TV, and San Antonio, Texas. Yeehaw! Here we go. I'm going to be there on Friday. I can't wait. The Texans, they love their UFC. I just got back from England where everybody goes crazy. 20,000 sound like 150,000. But I must say, in Texas, we really get a big audience response too. They love their UFC, that's for sure.
Oh, nice.
That yeehaw.
Oh my God, it's Ray Longo.
Oh yeah, Ray Longo's
shit.
here.
Ray the man. How are you, Ray? You look good.
Good. I just jumped in here. I didn't even tell you I was coming. I just felt like talking to you.
Hey, that's okay. I like the fact you're on the show. I got, TJ here. I'm my producer and co-host. I'm stuck with him for 16, 17 years. I need to have a new face once in a while.
TJ's knocking it out of the park now.
I'm trying.
He's a busy boy, isn't he, Ray?
Oh my God, I'm so happy for him.
No, it's really good. I mean, TJ, you called the Callum Walsh fight, right?
Yeah, in Boston.
And Callum was on the show a couple weeks ago. Callum reigned supreme, second round TKO. Was that it?
That was the result. Yes, sir.
It looked like his opponent was having a hard time even getting through the first part of the second round.
Yeah, he was complaining that he got hit in the back of the head. I don't know if he necessarily got hit in the back of the head. The referee didn't seem to see that. But yeah, no. I'm still trying to get over your yeehaw buffer. Do you own a cowboy hat?
Yeah, I do actually.
All right.
The trouble is my head's so big. I feel like, they call it a 10-gallon hat.
Right.
I put it on. It looks like a 5-pound, water bottle hat.
Right. Yeah.
He puts that 10-gallon hat on. It's like Travolta in that movie with Deborah Winger. Remember when he was in the what was the name of that movie?
Urban Cowboy, baby.
Urban Cowboy, Bruce.
Yeehaw!
Holy crow. That's what it looks like to me.
You know, it's funny. You mentioned John Travolta. Do you realize how many trends he caused in his life? The disco trend, the whole Western dance trend came back because of him. It's amazing, huh?
Oh, he could dance though, man. Even in Pulp Fiction, he got to play around a little bit, but definitely he's got rhythm. The disco trend was huge though, back in the day. Huge.
When he did Saturday Night Fever and all that.
Oh my God.
Something tells me there's no Cowboys on Long Island.
Not a lot of Cowboys on Long Island.
Yeah, they are. They're called Midnight Cowboys.
We got Midnight Cow. Oh man, Bruce. What are you on? What'd you take today that you're not telling us about?
Punch your chest. No, I'm kidding.
Oh shit, man.
I'm on. It's time. No,
that's crazy.
I'm on my cologne. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez, holy crap.
Oh wait, here, try a little deodorant. Yeah. Wow. Look at this one. This is the new one coming in.
It's time. Nice. I like it.
You all got care packages coming to you, boys. Just be patient.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
It's coming. Hey, Ray, by cologne, right?
Yeah.
Fastest selling cologne on Amazon.
Wow.
Ever.
Man, you guys are killing it, man. It's great. That's crazy.
But the reviews and the response, I mean, people love the It's Time cologne. It's really cool. I showed you everything except the It's Time cologne. I don't have a box. Don't worry. I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to get up and get it.
Oh, we've seen it.
What was I going to tell you about Travolta, though?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you do now?
I went off subject. There was something I was going to tell you about him.
It'll
come back.
I'll tell you, Bruce, this is my life every day. I lose a thought.
Trying to remember what you said?
Yeah, it goes in the black hole. It never comes out. You might pop out in about 20 minutes. I think you're gonna get it back. That's my guess.
I hope so. Do we call it a brain fart or an elderly moment? What do we call it?
I don't know what that's called, but it's happening too frequently for me.
It's called It Sucks.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I interrupt people, because if I don't, that thought is gone.
Right. It's now or never.
It's now or never with the thought. Yeah.
Maybe we've been hitting the head a little too many times, Ray, and we're starting to pay for it.
Without a doubt.
So listen, let's go on to some stuff here. I mean, first off, obviously, coming back from London, really fun trip, Ray. I went to London. It wasn't a fun trip out. We were 2.5 hours out on my plane out of LAX. And then I'm watching a movie and I'm not listening to the announcements. And all of a sudden I hear, we're descending into Los Angeles. What?
Wow.
I was wondering why the food took so long to be coming. It hadn't come yet.
What happened?
The fact there was something did not work in the cockpit. It was a light that was saying that an item they needed to fly over the ocean wasn't working, which meant we couldn't fly over the ocean. We might have
Oh,
gone.
Holy crap.
So you're just circling.
Yeah, they had to turn around, go back, and as fate would have it, they had another plane for us 2 hours later. But what was to be a 12-hour trip became a 20-hour trip. I felt like going to Australia again. So anyway, I got there, and then in the morning, if you ever see the movie The Kingsman?
Mm-hmm.
So I went, the UFC had me do a bit walking along the famous clothing stores of Savile Row
Right.
in England, which is a classic place. Went into a store that was 175 years old called The Huntsman. And they're the ones that did all the suits and were depicted in the movie The Kingsman. So I do this bit. It's really a fun bit, looking through the suits. They're talking about my top 5 favorite suits. And then at the end, they measured me for one of their suits, which was a surprise. And the suits cost a minimum $6,500 to $10,000.
Wow.
Right? Which is crazy. It takes 104 hours for this quality old-fashioned tailor to make the suit. So I will not see that suit. I have to go through 2 more fittings. I won't see that suit for 4 to 6 months. That's how long it's going to take to make it. And then, and I know I'm talking, and it's like, again, people, I hate talking about money and stuff, but this is an instance I got to tell you about. They opened up a bottle of booze for me because, you know, these clothiers, they have bars in the clothing stores. Where
Right.
you sit, you relax, they get you to drink, you know,
Yeah, it's a whole like procedure. It's like
it's an
whole
experience.
Day.
Yeah, it's a whole experience. So with that, they opened up the bottle and I had a taste of it. And it was this bottle right here, if you can see it.
Right.
Okay. And it's basically Glendronach. You might think Glenfiddich. It's a 1826. They've been making, it was a 1991 vintage. It was, listen, I love my bourbon, right? But this is one of the smoothest whiskeys I've ever tasted in my life.
Wow.
I'd like to have the bottle. It's in this beautiful display case. I'd love to have a bottle. Well, we only have one left. We're going to give it to you. How much is it? 3,000 pounds. What?
Oh my God, that's like
$4,500 bottle of booze they gave me.
Yeah,
the shots alone in a restaurant would cost you $300-400 each.
Oh my goodness!
Wow,
crazy. I mean, that was like the height of courtesy. I'm not one. I don't ask for anything, but if you're going to offer, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, well, I assume the bottle's gone now.
No. I have it displayed. It's going to be very special.
All right.
Yeah. We saved that for special occasions, Steve.
Special occasion.
All right.
So anyway, that was Friday morning. Then I had dinner with my partners for my cologne and energy product lines, which are based in London. That went great. Everything's going great there. That's when I learned about Amazon and all that going wonderful. But let's talk about the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh?
Hey. Wow. I hate to say it. I guess I don't hate to say it, but Teddy Atlas, being a boxing guy, he was on the panel for ESPN.
Oh, let me hear what Teddy said.
Well, he said that the old time trainers say that just by winning a title, you become 30 or 40% better. Leon Edwards looked 30 or 40% better than he was prior to winning that belt. Like, my goodness, what a performance in a fight that stylistically 9 out of 10 times just shouldn't favor him. And he was the aggressor and the guy moving forward and really dictating the pace of that fight.
So let me interject on that.
And he still scored as well as he did.
Yeah. Let me interject on that. So I do agree. You become 20 or 30%. You don't become 20 or 30% better. That's impossible. But you become 20 or 30% more confidence, and that confidence makes your skills that you already have better 100%. You know what I mean? It's more like you just start believing in yourself more, and that's what it is. Because you're not going to really get better, but you're going to do things better because of your confidence. I don't know if that's saying the same thing or not, but that's the way I take that, and I think that's really normal. You know what I mean? So that was a great pickup, and I think Leon Edwards definitely displayed that. 100% won that fight. There's no doubt in my mind.
No doubt.
Power to him, man. And I like his corner did a great job. They didn't wait till the 5th round. They started getting up his ass in the 2nd round, Bruce. You know what I mean? They weren't taking any chances. Leon looks like the type of guy, you got to stay on top of, right? You can't let him drift because he's got like that nonchalant attitude. You don't know if he's mad, he's sad, he's happy, he's winning.
That would drive me crazy. That's the one thing I like about those Longo Weidman guys, Matt Serra, Ally Quinta, like emotions on the sleeve. With Leon Edwards, he hides it.
Oh yeah, he hides it. He's not. Yeah, right. But so I think his corner did a great job in the 2nd round. They weren't waiting. They were going to stay on top of this guy, right from the get-go. And I think you need to do that. that's why they know their fighter, and just happy for the guy, because if you know him, he's a sweetheart, right, Bruce?
Yeah, he is. You know, I was just gonna say that. You know, I got a
Yeah,
chance to get to know him better over the last year. A couple times I've spent time talking to him for the brief moment I had. Um, just a gentleman and a sweetheart. Nothing, no
yeah,
bullshit. You know,
just chill, and he's chill. It's just like when you're talking to him, it's just like he's in the octagon. There's no difference. He's
no
just
difference at
chilling
all.
out.
No, like a resting heartbeat of 60 walking around. You know, that
Hey,
kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm curious your guys' mindset on Kamaru Usman moving forward, because no doubt he's still one of the best, welterweights in the division, but he is a little bit longer in the tooth, a little bit older, and he's a guy that I think, we talk about confidence. He's always sort of needed that chip on his shoulder. I think that there's going to be plenty of people that are going to say, maybe he's not where he once was, or give him the sort of motivation that he needs, because he does need that, but at the same time, like, are we going to start to see Kamaru take a step backwards as far as his efficiency, you think, Ray, in this 170-pound class?
I think we're going to see him take a step backwards until he gets his body 100%. He's pretty beat up, isn't he, Ray?
That's one thing for sure. Totally agree with that. And just like Teddy Atlas saying, you get 20% better when you win. I think you start to drop off when you lose. It's hard to maintain. You can't keep going up and up and up. The trajectory at some point has to level off or start going down. And you heard Weidman talk about that. He accomplished what he wanted to. He defended the title a couple of times. You just start losing interest sometimes. Like, what else is there? So, and my only problem with that is that's why I love a guy like Marvin Hagler, 14 title defenses. They said the best thing about Hagler was he put in the same camp 14 times in a row. And that's the tough part, right? Consistency. And I think for Kamaru, yeah, that's the key. And for like Kamaru, if you can't do those consistent things because you're injured and you got to start changing things up. And I went through that with Weidman. We were always dealing with injuries. Nobody knows what that guy was going through, right? You're not making excuses, but I could tell you right now, the guy's had 25 surgeries, or 23 at the time, I think. Dude, these wrestlers get beat up. They're already beat up by the time they get into the UFC. Weidman won a whole wrestling year and did great with a meniscus. He couldn't even bend his leg.
It's crazy to me, Ray. You talk about like the wrestling grind, like they're so grinding on their body. And you look at jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu is quote unquote the gentle art. Like, the grapplers, they have a durability and a sense of like what is normal wear and tear on their body that is much different than any other sort of athlete. And it just blows my mind what they sort of grind through, because you're talking about for what, one wrestler sort of deals with, in a season or in a fight camp. We're talking about a debilitating disability for, it's the average person if they were to experience the same sort of thing going through life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, but that's also what develops that mentality those guys have.
Yeah.
They push through stuff that the average guy isn't going to push through because they're so conditioned to doing that when they're growing up in high school and college. And that's, it's a double-edged sword, but that's been my experience with these guys. Mindset wise, you can't beat it,
Yep. I agree with you completely. Listen, the audience, I have to get back the energy they threw in. Obviously, when I was over and I was introducing Kamaru, pardon me, it was loud. But man, when I stepped over to Leon Roberts, they lost their cookies.
Nice.
It's nice. They really love their local warriors, or their UK warriors, or Irish warriors, English warriors, whatever the case might be. They're very supportive. But in that fight, I agree with everything you're saying, but I want to step into the Gaethje physique.
Oh my God. That sets the bar for fight of the year already.
We've had so many incredible fights, but you're right, TJ. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, if it's not that fight, it's any other Justin Gaethje fight.
The guy has made $450,000 or $500,000 in bonuses.
Right, which some UFC athletes don't make that in an entire career. Right. Just to make that off, bonuses. That's something else.
Yeah, I didn't think he could do it. I thought he was getting to the point too where he's been up there and he's been in so many wars, and man, holy crap, man. We said this on the other podcast. He's the Dan Henderson of those 55ers. He's winging that right hand. He's got a couple of more tools, obviously, way better footwork, but when he throws, I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw with that type of commitment that he throws with.
How does Trevor Whitman get through a single 3-round fight with Justin Gaethje. Just the highs and lows of being an innocent bystander, of trying to coach your guy through that stuff. It's just got to be an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, I think he's used to it at this point. He's been there so many times. He said it like years ago during a fight. Like, what do you expect? Just total chaos. I think something like that. He was like, no, this isn't going to be technical at all, guaranteed.
Hey, he got a takedown, first takedown of his career in the UFC. He landed that takedown in the latter part of the 3rd round. Crazy.
Well, we got a special guest that just walked in. Let him get a little shine here.
Oh, here we go.
See if you know who this guy is.
How we doing?
It's the Steamroller.
Hey, Steve,
there he is.
How are you, buddy?
It's hard.
What's up, Bruce?
It's hard to see him with that shining light in the background, but when you put the spotlight on a star already shining, I mean, this is great.
Yeah.
The ratings just went up at least like 5,000 right now.
I'm looking at the little reddish color coming through, and the beard and the hair. It kind of the little glow coming through. It looks good.
There you go,
Bruce. I don't know what kind of an Italian this guy is. He's white as a ghost. This guy. I can't figure him out.
I think somebody else was in the wood pile, if you know what I mean, there, Ray.
No, I got the Italian stallion, and then I got the fighting Irish from my mom.
That kind of combination is going to knock anybody the hell out. Okay,
that's it.
That's for sure.
But 100% American.
There you go.
I always thought I was the pastiest Italian dude in the world, and then I saw the steamroller Matt Frevola. I feel better about myself.
Hey, while we're all here, like kidding with each other, I just want to say, do you guys agree that Justin Gaethje is like the Arturo Gatti of the UFC?
Oh my God, he's the man.
He's Arturo Gatti plus some, I think.
Let me ask Matt this question. When you see someone like Gaethje go out there and perform the way that he did, what does that do for your own fighting spirit? Does that elevate it?
100%. It's inspiring watching Gaethje go out there and fight like that every single time too. Every time he walks into that cage, he leaves it all. He leaves it all in there, and that's kind of what I do. I aspire to do. Every time I step in that cage, I want to leave my blood, sweat, and tears in there if I have to. And that's how Gaethje does it. It's inspiring.
That's true example of warrior spirit. That's why we call you Steamroller, baby.
Oh, yeah. Bruce, give him a little motivation. Give him a little motivation before he leaves, Bruce.
And now, he doesn't walk in. He doesn't walk over you. He's Steamroller.
Let's go. Thanks, Bruce.
Good job today.
I'll see you soon, my friend.
Yes, 100%. Big show coming up May 6th.
That's nice. Oh, May 6th, Newark. I'll be there.
Me too.
That's it. Awesome.
There you go.
You're coming too?
I'm going to be out there, allegedly.
Wow.
So, guys, Gunnar Nelson and Ryan Barberena. I got to tell you, first off, Gunnar, I told him they should just name an armbar after him and just be done with it, okay?
Yeah, sure. That was beautiful.
Whenever I write the cards out for Barberena, speaking of John Travolta, I have to increase the size of the font on the "na," and I put a big "na" because I'm always afraid I'm going to say Barberino. Like,
right. I get
Welcome
it.
Back, Cotter. I just feel like it's going to come out, and I don't want that to happen. So I make it like, here's his name, and then you see "na" like that on my card.
Yeah,
just sharing a little personal info.
No, but honestly, on that armbar situation from Gunnar Nelson, like he was in vintage form. Like that was a fight that I thought was going to be close. Somebody like $20,000 on Brian Barberena, which was interesting. But Gunnar, the way that he came out, he just proved that he was in a league of his own that night. Really great stuff by him.
Yeah, and Barberena's a tough kid.
Yeah,
He's a tough kid.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to win over Robbie Lawler. Who beats Robbie Lawler? You know what I mean? So
yeah, there you go. Very good comparison. How about Marvin Vittori and Delice?
That was a close fight. I went the other way than the judges did, but really, really good fight.
Well, you did go the other way. See, I had Vittori winning. I thought he was the cleaner guy, threw more combos, or just was busy. The other guy was just looking for an overhand right. And I like the Lizzie. I wasn't sure. Like he's got to tighten up his boxing a little bit.
I'll be honest with you, Ray. You might not be wrong when it comes to that. I tend to be the typical MMA judge who sort of falls in love with activity, even when it's not effective. It's something that for years I've watched fights, and I was one of those guys that seemed to always side with Leonard Garcia, even though he wasn't the cleaner fighter. He would throw more. You know what I mean? That's a personal fault of my own, but you might be right. I might give you that.
Yeah, because I think people are mixed on that.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll defer to you.
You're
the expert.
All the fights were good. They started off with the Juliana Miller, Veronica Hardy fight, the very first fight of the night. Give those girls some credit.
Holy crow. Hats off to Hardy's wife. I thought she was phenomenal in that fight.
Phenomenal. And Jack Shore taking down Makwan Amrikani, which is not an easy task, and the way he did it. So a lot of good fights that night. Very excited about it. Very excited to have been there. I want to thank the UK fans. You're absolutely amazing. The energy they bring in, really gets me to, when it comes to my job, it gets me to going off much more. And a star-studded night. Jason Statham was there. Miles Teller was there. Tom Holland. Spider-Man,
everybody was there.
Actor. Pardon me?
Everybody was there. Like anybody that was there.
Everybody was there.
Really, honestly.
Was there.
Bruce, are those guys flying into England, or they were in England and they're there?
Well, I think a number of them are in England. They had the star of Get Out. I'm sorry, I forget his name. He won the best Oscar. There was a number of stars there. I'm sure Jason Statham, but I know Max Crosby flew in because Max Crosby, the Las Vegas Raiders star defensive end, was with Dana and you, TJ, when Callum Walsh fought in in Boston.
I was in Peter Welch's gym, and they were having this like punch challenge on the arcade thing, and it was one thing to see Kevin McBride show up, the former heavyweight boxer. It was interesting to see him, and then I turned to my left, and there's Big Max Crosby hanging out with Dana, throwing an overhand right on that bag, and I know that he just signed a new deal with the Raiders. I was like, dude, please do not break your hand on this arcade machine right now.
I tell you, shout out to Peter Welch too. I think great boxing trainer. I don't think he gets enough credit. I used to like seeing him back in the day. I thought he did a great job with Kenny Florian for sure.
Ray, he did commentary with me and a guy named Doug Fisher, who's the editor of the Ring magazine. And Peter had never done commentary, I guess, before. He might be the most natural person I've ever heard in the booth ever talking about boxing.
Let me tell you something. I always liked him a lot.
Well, speaking of UFC and everything else, we got the ESPN show coming up, which is on ESPN this Saturday. We got Marlon Cheeto Vera.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to get Ray's thoughts on this bantamweight scrap, because obviously, vested interest in your side with Aljamain. How do you see this fight going? Because I lean a little bit towards Cheeto. I never really want to take away anything from Sandhagen because he's a phenomenal fighter, but I'm curious from the coach's mind, how do you see this one playing out on Saturday?
I gotta go. I'm leaning towards Sandhagen on this.
Okay.
I think he could.
Really?
I think Cheeto's a slow starter. I think Sandhagen get a couple of rounds in the first 2 or 3. I think he could outwork him, and then Cheeto would have to catch him at the end. But I don't think Sandhagen's that guy. I think he's going to be too long, and his footwork is good. He's not going to sit in the pocket and trade with him, I don't think. I think he'll fight a very smart fight. Cheeto's always super dangerous. Seems like one of those guys who's got nothing to lose. He just loves fighting, and that's always a dangerous guy. But I'm leaning towards Sandhagen on this.
Sandhagen, a minus 175 favorite to come back on the underdog Vera, plus 145.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Maybe a little closer than that, but I think I don't know. Sandhagen, he's fought everybody. Man, I don't know. I think I'm going with Sandhagen on this one.
All right.
Okay. Then you got Llanos Santos and Holly Holm stepping back in the octagon. Holly's minus 260.
Yana, the former athlete known as Kunitskaya, but now she is married to Thiago Santos. That's gonna be a fun fight. Yana's incredibly tough, but Holly's just so technically and fundamentally perfect at times. Gonna be a very tough out for Yana.
Yeah, I think Yana's in trouble in that fight.
And a lot of very overwhelming favorites in this show. Macy Barber's coming in at minus 285 against Andrea Lee. Tucker Lutz minus 290. But again, it's the octagon.
Yeah.
Anybody can win.
Well, we saw a lot of underdogs win the last weekend for sure. A lot of underdogs.
Yeah.
Plus 200 or better underdogs win. So
first time a champion has ever let's see, in Leon. Leon was a 2-1 underdog.
Yeah,
first time I think there's been a championship fight where they were the underdog.
Yeah, in the rematch, what I think you're trying to say, the rubber match where the champion was the underdog. I don't think that has ever happened before.
Yeah, because rematch, I'm sure Matt was an underdog to GSP.
100%. But yeah, obviously that one wasn't a rubber match.
Right.
But no, I mean, what can you say though? Like that's the thing about the UFC. Like I understand 3-1, 4-1 odds in regular stick and ball sports. They seem long odds. In the UFC, a 2-1 favorite. That's like a pick 'em fight, guys.
As long as you're picking that plus 200 guy.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like as
No,
far as
I love those type of fights though. When you think the plus 200 guy is winning, because those are good odds.
Yeah, so I kind of phrased that poorly, but what I'm saying is like if you have confidence in a guy that's 2-1, you might as well bet him because you're getting 2-1 odds on what could be a pick 'em fight.
Let me give you the two greatest bets. Let me give you the two greatest bets, and I don't bet fights, but as a rule, but let me give you the two greatest bets in the history of the UFC.
Oh, okay.
Randy Couture facing Tim Sylvia, 8.5 to 1 underdog.
Yep.
Great bet. Holly Holm out of the gate at 20 to 1 against Ronda Rousey. I told everybody, no offense to Ronda, great, but I knew that a striker was going to tear her apart.
Wow.
And I almost broke my rule and was going to put $5,000 at 20 to 1, and I didn't. And I told all my friends to do it. 20 to 1 it came out. I think it ended at about 8 to 1, but it opened at 20 to 1.
Right. Yeah, was Matt an 8 to 1 dog against GSP?
I think people got him at least 10 to 1, 12 to 1. He might have ended up like that, but I got to tell you, it was he was such an underdog. People were dropping gifts off to the gym for me, like TVs. I swear to God, they won so much freaking money. They just wanted to show their appreciation. It was crazy.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what's I got a chance to see Matt with Dana on this looking for a fight shoot in Boston. Matt Serra still stands like he's ready to beat the ever-living shit out of somebody should someone cross the line. That dude is a fighter through and through.
TJ, I'm going to tell you something. He's going to get us both killed one day. There's no question in my mind because I can't walk anymore. And thank God he had his knee replacement. I could tell you right now, within the last 3 or 4 years, 10 situations where the guy is just, I crack up, but he's out of control. The guy's just still going.
He's just got a hairpin trigger. He's just ready to go.
He got publicized for stopping a crime, didn't he? Didn't he hold somebody down for a crime?
Yeah, but I mean that's his gimmick and Henzo. You know, his sensei's gimmick too. Henzo's always a guy that seems to be, shutting up somebody the hard way in the streets of New York City.
I think they watched the movie.
Henzo while he's smoking a cigarette, though. That's the difference.
I think they watched the movie Kick-Ass a few times.
Yeah,
maybe.
No. Matt, as a younger kid, though, TJ, his temper or his fuse was as
Is his brother Nick the same way or no?
His brother Nick was the same way, but different because Matt really is a grounded guy. You know what I mean? Like when Matt goes off, he's for the right reason. Nick goes off for the wrong. You know, like he's just crazy. But Matt
one balances and backs up the other. Hey guys, let's talk about a little thing that came out in the news. I have no problem with it because I think it's good that people should come out about their sexual, preferences and stuff like that. I'm sorry to say it came out because a video of him performing a sex act on another man.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, there was a video that came out where he's performing a sex act on another man that was leaked to social media.
You're talking about Jeff Molina.
Yeah, Jeff Molina, and he was stripped of the weight of the opportunity to announce that, he was announcing he was bisexual.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that because let's face it, there's a lot of, you put 10 men in a room, 1 or 2 are, going to be.
Who gives a shit?
Who cares?
Yeah, nobody.
They should be able to come out. They should be able to express themselves. Should be able to live a free life. So I'm happy to see this the first time any UFC fighter has come out.
It's bittersweet though, Buff, because he didn't have a choice. You know what I mean? He was exposed
That's
this
the only
way,
thing. It
and
wasn't
that's
done
what's
in
terrible.
the most positive fashion it should have been done.
Right. Yeah. I don't know who was behind that, how that came about, but like, it's terrible that someone was forced to do that. All the power to Jeff Molina. I think, super supportive. I can say that on behalf of all of us. You're a man in this world fighting in front of, hundreds of thousands of people for our entertainment. I want all those athletes to be comfortable with who they are and be
Sure.
able to live it in their skin. But the fact that someone did this to him maliciously to where he was forced to sort of, confront this is just terrible. And yeah, there's a special place in hell for those people.
well,
I think that
it's
that
also
Right,
choose
but
those terrible
TJ, but
things.
I think the thing too is that today, yeah, they might have did that, and there is a special place in hell. That nobody gives a shit though. That I don't. It wouldn't have been like 40 years ago where it's like
Right.
Rock Hudson.
40 years. Try 10 years ago. Try 10 years ago, Ray.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, did it get any traction? I saw it.
There's some
More
pretty
power to him.
there's some pretty negative stuff that gets posted on, the Reddit
always will
threads
be.
and things like that. That's where it's unfortunate. I think one thing, at least we're living in a society where if you're publicly saying that stuff, someone's going to beat your ass for it because you can't act like that in modern society. But the bottom line is, a man was forced to confront something that he wasn't able to do. So that's very sensitive on his own time. I wish he would have had that opportunity, but you got to adapt and make it through life. And, I think that he's going to find a lot more support than the negative sort of comments.
I agree with you on that.
Well,
yeah,
good for him. And I mean, women have come out. First time a man's come out. Good for him. Everybody should be able to speak and enjoy and live their lives in peace and equality.
And that's the thing too, like you said, Bruce, this isn't, he's the first openly, bisexual male fighter in the UFC, but you're lying to yourself if there haven't been, gay or bisexual men that have fought in the UFC over the 30-year period of this sport's existence. So,
of course,
yeah.
More power to him. Man's a man.
Hey, we got one more thing to cover, and then I got to get out of here. What is it, Bruce?
Okay, the other thing.
I hope we're on the same page. What do we got? What happened to our friend?
Which friend? Oh, Sammy?
No, not that.
Which friend?
John Anik with this fucking douchebag
Colby.
Covington.
Yeah, have you seen the story?
Oh, was it that? Well, first off, Gaethje was outspoken about Michael Bisping, and then Anik came to Michael Bisping.
No.
Colby
threatened to kill John Anik.
Oh, come on. What?
Colby said that basically Anik behind the scenes was loving on Bilal Muhammad, and it bothered Colby. And Colby said something to the effect with John that he needs to watch himself. He knows where John lives. They live close to one another, and it would be a shame, quote unquote, if John's kids grew up without a dad.
Watch what you say, Colby.
Yeah,
I like you, Colby. I like you, Colby. I'm going to say this right now, Colby. Watch what you say. That's not right.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be throwing barbs like that back. This thing about kill and hurt and threatening family. Stop that shit right now, Colby.
I mean, I don't Bruce, I don't care if it's an act. I don't care if that's part of his shtick. Leave the fucking kids out of it. Because a fucking 11, 12-year-old kid has no idea. They don't have the defense mechanisms to fucking deal with that shit. Social media is out of control now. Their friends say something. If my kids are grown up now, but at 11 or 12, if they heard that, they'd be fucking panicking. This guy's a fucking scumbag. I don't care if it's an act. Pick a different
act. It's wrong.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
Jesus, Colby. I'm gonna.
Well, the problem is,
John Anik's like a brother to me and a brother to you, Ray. Right?
Oh, without a doubt.
And I know how I feel about my brothers, but even if he wasn't a brother, that's not right. You don't do that. Connor should not do it. He should not do it. You don't talk like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you talk like that, like you did with Jorge Masvidal, take your fucking beating like a man and leave it out of the legal system. I mean, what a punk ass move that is. You just got your
in the
teeth
gym
knocked
without
out.
any cameras on a Sunday and work it out.
Yeah. I don't know. The kids thing is what kills me. Everything else, I don't care. I don't want to hear it's a shtick either. I couldn't give less of his shit. Yeah, it's
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I thought you knew that. I'm sorry to even bring it up. I thought you were gonna 100% address that.
No, it's okay. I think I got a glimpse of it. I wasn't aware it was like that though.
Yeah.
Oh no, he said I don't want to see you. I don't want to see your kids grow up without a father, and I know where you live in Boca Raton.
And you shouldn't be telling people where you live.
Yeah.
You don't do that. It's a total violation of everything we can think about. God damn it.
Whatever. Yeah. All right. I didn't want to end on that, but I got to rock and roll, guys. But
no, you go ahead and
end on a positive thing. What do we got?
Paige Van Zandt, she's got her OnlyFans site and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she's obviously doing quite well with it. I'm not advertising that, but she has the first ever Paige Van Zandt kiss card autograph. was auctioned off. How much did it go for, boys?
I'll say $5,000.
Ray?
By the way you're saying that, I'm going to go 8,000.
$13,200.
Dang! Wow.
You know, there's a saying, Bruce, in the used car industry. It's the saying is there's an ass for every seat.
Just
Or
gotta
another
find it.
saying, a sucker's born every minute, as W.C. Fields used to say, right?
There's an ass for every seat.
Oh,
I mean, are you kidding me?
nope. Nope.
Yeah, you know what? We live in a weird. We're in a weird place, man.
Oh yeah. It's only getting weirder, Ray.
You know.
Only
What's
get
next,
weirder,
Ray?
Ray.
I hear she's going to sell her socks for $20,000.
Don't be surprised she sells other things too, Ray. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
obvious. Got, all the goods for paid. She's making her money. She's doing her thing. That OnlyFans site has opened up avenues of income that are just crazy. You know, one of the biggest things that you know what I learned? One of the biggest requests, like for people we know, I don't want to mention any names that are on OnlyFans, and like Laura Pippen, who just came out yesterday and said that Scottie Pippen would have sex with her 4 times a night every night of their marriage.
Oh wow!
Wait, 4 times.
4 times a night every night. If I read
Wait,
the title
but
correctly.
4 different. Where's Sammy when we need her? 4 different times, or he came.
What do you
4
think
times?
4 times means,
God.
Ray? Yes,
I mean,
4 times. 1, 2.
Well,
3.
I'm saying it's not at 7 o'clock. Then he goes back at 8 o'clock. I mean, or is it in the
Whatever
same
the time
session?
zone was when it took place? All I read was 4 times a night.
Guys, whatever it is, it's exhausting. It's 28 times a week. I'm not happy.
Well, whatever the case might be, but you know what one of the biggest things they call for in OnlyFans? Feet.
Yeah,
no,
get that.
The feet.
No, a lot of girls have told me that. 100%.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
all right, Ray. We'll let you go.
Listen,
Well, there you go,
guys.
Ray. We ended on a positive footnote.
I like that. I like the footnote. That's good. That's good.
Oh, see, I love it. There's an ass for every seat. I'm out of here, guys. Take it easy.
There's the new T-shirt. When are you going to go on Millions and start making these T-shirts, Ray?
Bruce, I need you to manage me, man. I suck.
Ray, I told you he's got to talk to my associate. You're all set up. We do all the work.
All right, I'm doing it.
I'll
I tell you, I
follow
don't know. You know what it is, Bruce? I'm really content. You know, it's like what the hell was I just thinking with that? Like, I don't want to get into it. Life-changing money. Yeah, sometimes it is life-changing money for the worse.
Right. Yeah.
I'm happy with what I got. You know what I mean?
You win the Powerball and everything falls apart. You know what I mean?
Ray, you're a happy guy. Stay that way.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Take it out.
But you're going to get some It's Time cologne in your care package. You can make another baby, so be careful.
Yeah. That's 4
Ray
times
Longo's wife comes out with the news years later. Yeah, Ray used to hit me 4 times a year.
Yeah, 4 times a decade. I'll talk to you later.
See you, Ray. Oh my goodness.
He's funny, man. He's so much fun.
I love Ray. Ray's one of the best in the business, and that's not hyperbole. Yeah, no. What can you say?
Boy.
I think we pretty much left everything on the table there with Longo.
Yeah, but we do have a new sponsor for the show. Gary Randall's launched a new website, which is very cool, and it's called medicaleverything.com. So I suggest people want to get health news and stuff, and medicaleverything.com is got a lot of information on it. I just want to go over a couple of stories what we can right here, right now. One of the first ones is the best, brain performance is very important. And there's an article here on boosting brain performance of foods that can make you think faster, right, and better. And just like we're talking about earlier, we forget what we just said. So a lot of things is to eat right. One of my big things I do every morning, I have blueberries every day. One of the best antioxidants it's a great source of fiber and glucose.
Yeah.
And they contain antioxidants, which helps with memory, which is really important. One of the other things this article brings out is fatty fish, salmon, however you want to say it, sardines and anchovies. They're high in omega-3s, fatty acids, which is like DHA. And that's been shown to help boost memory and cognitive skills too. And eat your salad. Leafy greens, kale, spinach, full of vitamin E, really good for the brain. And, you wonder why Italians live so long, and they say it's red wine and such, but it's also the extra virgin olive oil they use in their cooking.
Yeah.
And flaxseed oil. And of course, we all know that complex carbohydrates are good, which people understand that it's whole beans, grains, They're very rich in natural sugars like glucose. And the biggest thing of all, as we know, is water. Hydration. It's probably the most important thing for your brain you can do. And it helps you form proteins and absorb nutrients. And the last thing, and I think you might like this, TJ. I don't have to say this right. Cacao, chocolate, CACO?
Yeah, cacao.
Cacao. 80% of higher cacao content
Yep.
is known to support cellular aging. So enjoy your chocolate, enjoy your cacao, right there.
Yep.
And then the other article they had on, which was also about eating too, is mastering the art of choosing an eating order that makes you feel better. Okay. So you wonder, what does eating order mean? This might be difficult for a lot of people, but if there's vegetables on your plate,
Yeah.
you should be eating the vegetables first.
Right. Yeah. There's a whole philosophy behind what sort of foods go with one another and what should be consumed together so you get your maximum
Glucose, avoid glucose spikes and
well,
all that.
I think the Gracies have launched their own Gracie diet and talks a lot about like what food should be eaten with each other, when, what part of day,
right,
and how your body absorbs it. And actually, it's quite funny. One of the things that's sort of big in the Gracie diet is cream cheese. Like cream cheese is supposed to be sort of like something that sort of gets more out of the food that you eat with it. I don't know what you would call it necessarily, but
that's interesting.
yeah, I don't know. I do love cream cheese.
Oh, do you? Are you a bagel and cream cheese person?
I'm a cream cheese on anything person.
Really?
Actually, one of the things that I had from the Gracie diet was a watermelon smoothie that had some cream cheese in it, and it was absolutely phenomenal.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I'll think about that next time I have my bagel and cream cheese, which is something I love too.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, everybody, check out medicaleverything.com. They're one of the sponsors of the show. Also, thanks to Puncher's Chance Bourbon, another sponsor of the show, the Undisputed, the new release we just had, won the Platinum Award. We're just knocking the doors down left and right. And one last note before we go, Ryan Reynolds is like The Rock. This guy has got the Midas touch like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
He just sold Mint Mobile.
Oh, he sold it.
T-Mobile's going to buy Mint Mobile in a $1.35 billion deal.
Wow.
Good for Ryan Reynolds.
Wow. That's
Good
crazy.
for Ryan Reynolds.
That's crazy.
Awesome. Very cool.
His soccer team is phenomenal, by the way.
What's that?
His soccer team. He owns a soccer team in Wales. They're actually at the UFC on
that's
Saturday.
Another thing he does too.
Yeah.
Yep. And one other note here, you know how I always told you when we talked about ACLs that one of the biggest issues is when football players jump up and down and celebrate?
Yep.
Well, the New York Mets star, Edwin Diaz.
Yeah, he celebrated a World Baseball Classic game that was largely meaningless.
And he jumped up and down. He tore his patella tendon. And he's probably out for the season.
Yep.
It's amazing how that happens.
And he's one of the premier pitchers in the
Yeah.
Major League Baseball. So, yeah, that's a tough loss for the Mets.
Very tough loss for the Mets. And Jake Paul's trainer, BJ Flores, do you know he was shot in Medellin?
No.
Yeah, he was down in Medellin in a robbery attempt. He was in his car, the usual thing. They came up, they pulled up the motorcycle drivers, with the guns.
Oh, God.
Pointing to his head. They tried to steal his wallet and watch, and they shot him one time in the leg, and he defended himself the best way he could, and luckily he got away.
Well, that's good he got away. Terrible news that he gets shot.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Anyway, that's sending it on that note. I've got other stuff here, but I've got to go train for a couple hours. I want to get ready. Got San Antonio coming up this weekend. I'll get this, TJ, a ghost marine, submarine, those ghost submarines that cart people off the coast of Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
It was seized. They found 2 dead bodies aboard it and $87.7 million in cocaine.
Oh my God.
All right. We're throwing this out there. We'll leave it alone. I got more news. We'll wait till next week for this other stuff.
Perfect.
All right, TJ, what's up?
Let's see here. Tomorrow I fly down to Cancun, Mexico, for Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, which is Sunday.
Road warrior.
I know. And then Medusa female-only jiu-jitsu on Saturday, which is before the UFC. So you can tune in and watch that as we're live on UFC Fight Pass. So, yeah, Combat Jiu-Jitsu, 2 16 athlete tournaments on Saturday. You got 16 women going to war on the CJJ mat at Medusa. And then I think it's a welterweights on Sunday. More Combat Jiu-Jitsu, all available for you on UFC Fight Pass.
Very, very cool. And I am going to be in San Antonio, like I said, for the UFC this weekend. I'll see you all from the Octagon then. The show is on ESPN from beginning to end, which is quite exciting. And I'm very excited to go down to Texas. I love Texas. I love the fans in Texas. And I used to live in Texas. And I'm born in Oklahoma. And I don't talk about that in Texas, but it's okay. I'm coming to Texas. How's that?
God bless Texas.
God bless. Yeehaw! I'm getting sick of it
Ridiculous.
too. Don't worry. I won't say it again. All right, everybody. Set your goals, write them down. So when you set on that yellow brick path road to success in your future, you be the best you can be, because by being the best you can be, then you're winning. Whether you're first, second, third, champion, 10 or whatever, be the best and be proud of yourself. And that's what life's all about. So big cheers and no fears forever. I will see you next week. TJ, have a great week. Travel safe, TJ.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. I watch the news. It freaks me out.
Yeah, travel safe. All right, everybody. Take care. Stay healthy. Show respect to everybody in your sphere of influence. Be a role model. Help the world. Bye-bye.